fake stuff and said a lot of stuff that, a person that you claim that you cool with, you would never say. So that was my big issue with him. I just know, character take you a long way. And I just I just don't agree with the character, actions that he.
The problem is Terence Crawford now is really only going to want a fight for big money, and there's only certain fights that can generate that kind of money.
Crawford lashed out at Floyd Mayweather after the sparring footage was leaked, saying he was deeply disappointed by Floyd's actions. Crawford made it clear that he expected more respect from someone who claimed to be on good terms with him. He expressed frustration over how private training moments were made public and emphasized that such behavior was
I had disliked a lot of things that he was saying, and how he was acting, being that, I'm a real individual. I just felt like, we was all cool at one point in time. And, when the Errol Spence fight was getting mentioned and talked about and, signed, I just felt like he just did a lot of fake stuff and said a lot of stuff that, a person that you claim that you cool with, you would never say. So that was my big issue with him. I just know, character take you a long way. And I just don't agree with the character, actions that he.
Remark that Terence Crawford should consider retirement highlights the growing divide within the boxing world about what his next move should be. On one side, Hearn praises Crawford's spotless legacy. He's conquered multiple weight classes, dominated top-tier opponents, and cemented his place among the all-time greats. Retiring now, at the height of his success, would preserve that legacy forever, much like many legendary champions before him. However, Hearn also acknowledges the powerful lure of financial opportunity. With Saudi investment reshaping the sport and cross-promotional mega-fights on the rise, Crawford could still earn record-breaking paydays, even in bouts.
Crawford retire?
Do you know what? Someone said the other day, and it's very true, because I actually said it about Usyk. We've got a real tendency, haven't we, to kind of try and retire people off. Do you know what I mean? Like I said with Usyk, I think now he should retire. And everyone's like, why do you want him to retire? It's like, I just think it's a great way to go out. I actually also think that Crawford could move down and win a world title at 160. And that would make him, what, 6 division champ? 5? 35, 40, 47, 54, 6 division champion. But the problem is Terence Crawford now is really only going to want a fight for big money, and there's only certain fights that can generate that kind of money. So Shakur, who's obviously very close to him, seemed to say So
Field believes Terence Crawford should step away from the sport while he's still on top. In his opinion, Crawford has already achieved everything that defines true greatness in boxing, becoming a pound-for-pound champion, winning titles across multiple divisions, and proving himself against the best fighters of his generation. Schofield isn't questioning Crawford's ability or legacy, but rather warning that continuing further could invite unnecessary risk. He suggests that if Crawford does choose to fight again, it should only be against young, hungry challengers like Virgil Ortiz or Frank Martin. This reflects a generational shift, as the new wave of fighters is eager to test themselves against a living legend. Still, Schofield's message comes with deep respect. He acknowledges that Crawford...
I feel like Crawford, he could retire if he wants. I feel like if he does get another fight, I would love to see him in there with Virgil. Virgil or Gervonta, I feel like those are both great fights, but those are fights we just got to see. We just got to see those fights before... I feel like those are the only 2 fights I would entertain.
Not a rematch? Maybe a rematch with Crawford and Canelo?
I feel like it wasn't close enough. It wasn't close enough.
Valid?
If it was close, maybe, but it just was like, it wasn't close.
Crawford has nothing left to prove and believes retiring. Now would preserve his spotless record and secure his legacy at its absolute peak. Bismuir interview for Siem. This topic continues to ignite passionate debates among boxing fans. The dream matchup of prime Floyd Mayweather versus prime Terence Crawford dominates online conversations because both symbolize complete mastery of their respective eras. Mayweather's defensive brilliance and unmatched ring IQ made him nearly impossible to hit, while Crawford's versatility and killer instinct have allowed him to systematically break down every opponent.
So yeah, everybody, so this is a good question that the ring put out. So Terence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather, a fantasy fight that will never happen. Now, this is a really good question. Who will win between these two? Me personally, if this was old Floyd Mayweather, well, I'm going to say pretty boy Floyd, I'm talking about like the younger version of Floyd Mayweather wins. You're talking probably prime Floyd Mayweather versus prime Terence Crawford. You could see Floyd Mayweather beating Terence Crawford, but you're talking about money Floyd versus Terence Crawford. I see Terence Crawford stopping him in the later rounds due to Floyd Mayweather's passive style and Philly shell. I believe he'll melt. Terence Crawford would just break him, I think. People forget what Manny Pacquiao was able to do on Floyd Mayweather, have success with him certain parts of the fight, and people just need to see, Floyd Mayweather's, I would say, fights, later down the years. I think Crawford would just be able to break that defense. I don't know. The thing is about Terence Crawford, he has a very, very awkward style, very awkward foot movement and footwork. This is the thing. A lot of people were thinking, no, nobody beats Floyd. Or if you try to compare somebody else, no, this man will beat Floyd. Floyd would beat everybody. I don't think it's a case of Terence Crawford, everybody. I think Terence Crawford would have been the man to actually beat Floyd. Honestly, for what he did to Canelo Alvarez, he beat a 168 Canelo Alvarez. 168 Canelo Alvarez.
Quick to note that while statistics and accolades matter, they don't always determine who would be greater in a head-to-head matchup. Floyd Mayweather's flawless 50-0 record and his ability to remain undefeated across multiple generations is a rare achievement few can match. Terence Crawford, however, has become an undisputed champion in multiple weight divisions, something Floyd never accomplished during his career. This makes direct comparisons difficult, as their achievements came in different eras under different circumstances. Mayweather's legacy is built on global superstars and record-breaking pay-per-view events, while Crawford's is defined by dominant, conclusive...
Versus Terence Crawford is the topic of this video, and someone posted this: number of world champion fighters beaten, Floyd with 23, Terence with only 11, but my response to this is, being more accomplished does not mean you're better than someone. By example, Canelo has 18 former world champions beaten, Terence has 11. So you could argue that Canelo's more accomplished. Meanwhile, Terence just whooped him over the course of 12 rounds over the weekend. We all saw it. Plus, more accomplished fighters lose to lesser accomplished fighters all the time, so that's a bad argument. Let's talk skill for skill. Terence Crawford has knockout power in both hands. He can switch stances. He's not a stationary target. He has good footwork. He knows how to counterpunch. He knows how to fight on the outside and on the inside. He can make it dirty. He knows how to box and he knows how to fight. There's a difference. Guys like Shakur Stevenson, for example, they know how to box. When it comes to actually getting down and dirty, the jury is still out on one Shakur Stevenson, just by example. Terence Crawford, I think, if you look at the names on Floyd's list here, Manny Pacquiao, Canelo, Marcos Maidana, Cotto, and the list goes on and on, I think Terence Crawford has a shot at beating all those guys. I don't think anybody on that list jumps off the page and goes, oh my God, I think he smokes Terence Crawford. You can't say that about anybody on any of these guys' lists and names here. So yeah, that's my take on this, man. Maybe the only guy is Gennady Golovkin. I could see Gennady Golovkin giving Terence a really hard fight, especially at that weight. But remember, Canelo lost to Gennady. Gennady shouldn't even be on this list. He's only on the list because the judges are in Canelo's back pocket. So, that's a whole nother argument. But yeah, that's my take on this, guys. Skill for skill, Terence Crawford might be one of the best of all time, and that's okay. It's okay to accept that, guys. It's fine. Let me know what you think in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree. It doesn't matter. Just join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you.
Judah's words carry significant weight, because he has personally experienced Floyd Mayweather's skill in the ring and knows what it takes to compete at the sport's highest level. His acknowledgement of Terence Crawford as the king of this era highlights the natural evolution of boxing. Each generation produces its own dominant figure. Judah even reminded fans that Canelo Alvarez once hinted Crawford might be better than Floyd, a comment that ignited endless debates among fans. For Judah, Crawford's ability to dominate elite opponents across multiple weight divisions showcases his completeness as a fighter. Unlike many who struggle,
punch can knock him out, you know what I'm saying? The size will be a factor. None of that was nothing.
How did you score it?
Huh?
How did you score the fight?
I think I gave Canelo about 3 rounds. About
Really?
3 rounds. Yeah, about 3 rounds. How did you score? You just score about, sound about fair?
What's that?
Sounds about right?
I had it closer, but there's loads of different scores.
2 rounds.
You gave him 2 rounds.
I had 2 rounds. Yeah, he ain't do anything. I gave him a possible 3 rounds. So if I play space, we give him 2 impossible.
Where did you put him in the all-time list? 5-weight world champion.
Who?
3-weight undisputed, Terence Crawford.
Who?
Terence Crawford.
He's number 1 right now. Number 1. This is his generation. This is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Just seen in the press conference, Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What do you think?
He's not lying. He fought him. He should know. How can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, that, he know.
Yeah.
If anybody would know, Canelo would know.
What do you think's next for both?
I don't know.
Too early? You like to see a rematch?
Probably rematch always sound good. But in a rematch, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Matter of fact, in a rematch, I'm predicting stoppage earlier.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah, I think so. My boy's a dog. Trust me.
Thank you.
that Canelo's opinion carries more weight than that of most fans or analysts, because Canelo has personally faced both him and Floyd Mayweather. However, Crawford was quick to highlight that the circumstances surrounding those fights were completely different. Mayweather fought Canelo when he was still young, inexperienced, and developing his style, whereas Crawford faced him as a fully matured, battle-tested champion at super middleweight. This distinction, Crawford explained, shows how timing plays a crucial role in boxing outcomes. In his view, defeating an experienced prime Canelo holds a different level of significance than Floyd's.
So a lot of people, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. One where he felt like he was at the best, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, I don't know, I don't go off of that. Floyd is the best fighter, in his era. And I feel like I'm the best fighter in my era.
One thing that I thought was really interesting about the fight, I always love watching you switch stances as effortlessly as you do. You didn't do that a lot in this fight. You didn't have to. Were you expecting not to have to?
No, I felt like I could have, but why do something when something else is working?
Easy answer.
Defense of Floyd is firmly rooted in the belief that people often ignore context when comparing fighters' careers. He argues that when Floyd faced Canelo, he was already past his physical prime, relying more on experience, timing, and ring intelligence than on raw speed or explosiveness. Yet, even in that stage, Floyd completely shut down a young and dangerous opponent, a fact Jeff believes is too often overlooked. From his perspective, comparing the Canelo that Floyd fought to the one Crawford faced is unfair, as they were at entirely different stages of their careers. Jeff's comments serve as a reminder that boxing history is frequently judged without considering
Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other 2 judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
What was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23? 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah,
to a man that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people.
How are you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose?
20s.
I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, so, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
I mean, don't you? I mean.